Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video, we're going to talk about Rule 8, which is the action to avoid collision. A. Any action taken to avoid collisions shall be taken in accordance with the rules of this part and shall, if the circumstances of the case admit, be positive, made in ample time, and with due regard to the observance of the good seamanship. Obviously, in accordance with the rules of this part, means the action is to comply with the rules, be positive, and we still get to be observed good seamanship. B. Any alteration of course and or speed to avoid collision shall, if the circumstances of the case admit, be large enough to readily apparent to another vessel observing visually or by radar. A succession of small alteration of course and or speed shall be avoided. So for further information, let's watch this video. C. If there is sufficient sea room, alteration of course alone may be the most effective action to avoid close quarter situation, provided that it is made in good time, is substantial, and does not result in other close quarter situation. Let's watch this video to understand what this paragraph is saying. D. Action taken to avoid collision with another vessel shall be such as to result in passing at a safe distance, and the effectiveness of the action shall be carefully checked until the other vessel is finally passed and clear. So you need to take action that's gonna keep you into a safe distance. And then, you need to continue checking until the other vessel is finally passed and clear. E. If necessary to avoid collision or allow more time to assess the situation, a vessel shall slacken her speed or take all way off by stopping or reversing the means of propulsion. Obviously, this paragraph is actually a very much common sense paragraph, so let's proceed to the next. F. So F has three parts. First is a vessel which by any of these rules is required not to impede the passage or safe passage of another vessel shall, when required by the circumstances of the case, take early action to allow sufficient sea room for the safe passage of the other vessel. You know, couple of things in here obviously. The first thing that stands out is about not impeding the passage or safe passage. We're not talking about avoiding collision, we're talking about allowing sufficient sea room for vessels. The second part is a vessel required not to impede the passage or safe passage of another vessel is not relieved to this obligation if approaching the other vessel so as to involve risk of collision, and shall, when taking action, have full regard to the action which may be required by the rules of this part. What this basically means is that you cannot see a risk conclusion exists, and we're going to apply the crossing situation rule and stand on. So let's watch this video for example. And the last, a vessel the passage of which not be impeded remains fully obliged to comply with the rules of this part, when the two vessels are approaching one another so as to involve risk of collision. So in our example, although the grain vessel is meant to impede the passage, the container ship remains fully obliged to comply with the rules of this part, when they're approaching one another involving collision, which means it is still a crossing situation. The container vessel is still the gateway vessel, even though the green one should allow her sufficient sea room.